Before you learn how to play with the rest, you need to understand a proper stance. And stance is a little bit different compared to the normal shot because you need to do everything opposite. So let's say if I have cue ball and object ball straight to the pocket, I put cue ball and object ball on the carpet so you could see clearly what I do with my stance. So I'm putting first always my left leg and right leg second for the right hand player, opposite for the left hand player. And I'm turning both my feet 45 degrees, 45 degrees on the line, and keeping shoulder distance apart, because that gives you better stability, more hip turn, and this will allow you to have a better elbow position. Because if you're gonna stand square like this, then your body cannot turn properly, and then you are more likely to play because of that only reason across the ball. So stand 45 degrees, shoulder distance apart, and you're more likely to set up properly. All right, so I will try to put cue ball to the corner pocket. So I'm keeping a normal distance apart from the cue ball. I don't want to be too close, and I don't want to be too far away because both ways are not good. When you are too close, then you don't have enough backspin length to pull the cue ball, and then it's not good because you most likely will jab the shot. And if you have a very long distance, then it's a little bit more difficult to see the cue ball properly center, and you're more likely to play across the ball. So just keep optimal distance like this, about 25, 28 centimeters, depending. You like to be a little bit shorter or longer, but just keep in mind 25, 28 centimeters is the optimal distance. So you know about stance, you know about what kind of distance, bridge hand distance you can keep from the cue ball, and how close you need to keep your Q-tip closer to the cue ball. So now I want to talk about elbow positioning, left and right. So with the left shoulder, you need to just make sure that you are stable. And you can just make sure that fingers are holding the rest properly. Somebody like to be to the side, somebody like to be straight. Somebody says that being inside is a little bit more stable, but the most important thing that if you feel stable and then your rest doesn't move, this is the key point, this is good. Me, I like to be a little bit more straight because it gives me a better feel about straight alignment. This is why I'm doing this. And you have a choice. You can keep your elbow like Sean Murphy, 45 degree, like this, or a little bit lower, like Ronnie, like other top rest players like Jimmy White, for example. The most important thing, what makes your cue move straight. So for me, a little bit below 45-degree angle, this is the best position to move my rest straight on the line. Because if I keep 45 degree, during impact point on the cue ball, I feel that my cue goes a little bit more to the left. So I found that if I keep my elbow, right elbow here, it just allows me to move cue a little bit straighter. So you can experiment and see, do you like Sean Murphy style or more like Kyren Wilson, Jimmy White style? All three players are great players, so you can use which option for you suits the best. This is how you can practice. Okay, so how to hold properly grip with the rest. So there are two styles, 2-finger grip or 1-finger grip. 2-finger grip uses Ronnie or Jimmy White. So basically thumb under the cue and 2 fingers over the cue with a flat face cue. So you can play like this. Just make sure that you are not too close to the cue ball or holding completely on the back on the cue, because both ways are not stable. So have a little gap like this. And then second style is like 1-finger grip. This is my personal favorite. Why I use this grip? Because it just gives me a little bit straighter movement, and I just feel that I can deliver a little bit straighter. But there is no good or bad. The most important thing is just make sure that those 2 fingers are pointing direction to the aiming line, and then you will get an idea. So when I play, I'm using one finger grip, and then I'm releasing. This is another part of the grip. Then you open during the impact point, because you don't want to be close, because if you are close, then the cue goes to the left as well. So this, I just give me an idea how to use your grip properly. So you can use 2-finger grip like Ronnie or Jimmy, or you can use 1-finger grip like Karen Wilson or Hendry. The choice is yours. Okay, rest, cue, delivery, final position. So 2 most important things. You don't want to finish your shots too early so that your elbow doesn't move, because then you will jab the shot and you won't have any follow through. Or you don't want to over accelerate and get too much follow through with the straight hand, because in this way it's very difficult to keep your cueing straight. So just make sure as you deliver the cue, you can use 2-finger, 1-finger grip. As I mentioned before, the most important thing that you deliver and you make sure that cue stays straight. And I have a slightly bent elbow, not straight, but slightly bent. And I know that my cue delivery is proper. So I will demonstrate. I'm cueing up. 1, 2. I'm using the same cue action as I do for the normal shot, because it gives me same feeling, which means more consistency, which means better potting and positional play. The more we go to the professional level, I will explain more advanced details, but for the beginner play, this is what you need to understand if you want to improve your rest play. I hope that is going to be helpful for you. Remember, even if you play simple shots without any object ball, you need to still do correct things, because if you do correct things, even if you play simple shots, eventually you will get better and play more difficult shots. So I always align myself. I'm approaching from my left leg, opposite for the normal stance. Putting rest first, cue on the line, setting, and then my goal is to aim center cue ball, make sure my cue tip as close as possible to the cue ball, and then backswing, and smooth delivery with the straight cue action, hopefully. Then you are setting another ball, and you try to put a second ball into the corner pocket with the rest. And you go down until you put all 6 reds. This is the rest routine.